curriculum somewhere. Whether wristbands would improve any kind of
Okay, so is there a pen to sign this with? I thought they had a pen out there. Oh, he's offering some. I don't want to steal from you, sir. Thank you. If this is being recorded, are you posting it on YouTube?
I guess what I said is just that.
Where's it posted?
It's posted on all things that they approved or what your suggestions might be as far as
It's posted on, what was the first one again, sir?
Vimeo.
Vimeo?
Events. This is events in Ward County, but
Oh, Vimeo, okay.
And on the public website for Ward County.
Could you show me in the library once you're done?
I can show you in the library once I'm done, provided that I have time to do so.
Okay.
Because I'm up here and I have other stuff.
Hey, that's all right.
But it's actually on the Ward County website.
Yes.
So that's public website for everyone in the county.
Okay.
Made up of education, law enforcement, ourselves, youth-based community partners here in Ward County, and we met and we discussed ways that we would
Oh, nobody's signing, so that's the reason why.
underexploited strategies and activities that we implemented. We did have a list. This is just like suggestions. It's not like everything needs to be implemented. It's just different ideas that we think would be beneficial to be able to make state that safer for our youth. So our first one was that mandatory level of server training for all individuals involved in alcohol service and event security. So we obviously offer in-person at First District. We would advocate for in-person because that way we can have more of a discussion. It doesn't need to be, I know the Ward County Sheriff's Department. Ian Jacobson there also said that they have grant funds that they may be able to do it too, at no cost potentially to the liquor license holder. We've also said that volunteers we could provide the training for free as well. We want to advocate for in-person because then we can have a discussion. We can make it more tailored to the state fair. We can answer relevant questions and realistic scenarios that we can. It's also like through that interaction we can just have more of a thorough training to believe. We did say the use of wristbands. Again, I said previously at a previous meeting, this isn't foolproof. It would require training again, which again is another positive of the beverage server training, is that training on those wristbands, the perfect placement to make sure it is flush to the skin, how to look for it being tampered. And also, I want to highlight, because I think when people think about wristbands, people think, oh, you get a wristband and you're clear. Just because somebody's wearing a wristband doesn't mean you can't ID them at any point. So the Sheriff's Department can still go and ask for their ID. They can still ask for their ID at point of sale if they think it's been tampered or they think they look particularly young. So a wristband isn't somebody's free entry. It's just a tool. Then we also said increased use of ID scanners, which looks like it's already been done, so that's great. We said designated alcohol-free areas throughout the fairgrounds, so near the rides or where youth frequently would meet or spend a lot of their time. This just reduces exposure of alcohol use to minors and helps create food boundaries. We also support clear signage indicating the use of scanners in 21 alcohol service areas. We have some signs. If that was beneficial, we can purchase some more.
Where do we turn in the,
We want to just make sure that more clear signage shows the expectations and the rules.
The public
And then also,
comes at
one that was
the end of the
discussed
night
is alcohol screening at entry.
and then
So,
they can be set on the counter.
at our discussion at the coalition meeting, it was mentioned that
But generally,
I prefer you deliver it to him. I want my address to be kept private.
there's like empty bottles
most of
of
them
alcohol and liquor on the floor
In the green pants?
So more thorough
up on the next the other treasure.
like bag checks or visual screenings for alcohol.
Are you Miss
As
Hammond?
much as we are
I'm with the
trying to
county, I can
prevent
help you.
the purchase of alcohol on
If you want to step out, I'll visit with you.
as well, and consumed by youth. So that was.
I prefer that we not step out. I'm just trying to take the public comment card to the board.
Here's the thing, we're trying to hear us. I just want to know how I can help you so that you can do it.
Okay, I'm going to need a translator then. I mentioned something about taking a public comment card to the board, and I'm going to need somebody fluent enough in English to understand that.
Okay, can I see what you have? And I am fluent in English.
Okay,
And you are fluent in English?
I sure hope so.
Okay. So Melissa, the close-century code. And this is what you wanted to take?
Well, this and I did want to also quote some other federal law, well-established federal law.
Okay. So I think at the very end of the meeting is the space where they always ask for public comment.
Yes, the guy over at the electronics panel was pointing that out.
So that would be your opportunity. Otherwise, you have to already be on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am. That's what they tried to do last time, is they gaslit me by trying to say I had to already be on the agenda. But I am trying to take the comment card over, and you were causing me to miss the meeting.
Okay, and I understand that.
You understand that you're causing me to miss the meeting.
So here's the deal, that you can go back to the meeting, except there can't be conversation going on because then other people are missing the meeting.
Is there any rule that says that there can't be conversation? I was discussing how to take the card to the...
And I'm helping you with that. So,
You're helping me by keeping me out of the meeting.
okay, so you can go back to the meeting and you can sit, but as of now, the time that you can comment is the end of the meeting.
Yes,
Ask for
you've
public
already
comment.
said that, so how do I get the card to the correct person?
I'm going to give it right here. Or do you want me to take it up front?
Or I was going to take it up front, if you don't mind.
I'm not sure if they let you do that, but you can try.
Well, if they don't, then you go ahead and take it up front. But what's the correct person?
The correct person would be the person that's doing the agenda. She's sitting on the end, I believe.
There are
After
two
that meeting.
ends to the group of people. Which end?
I would do this end.
The one towards
She's
the window or the
keeping
one away
minutes.
from the windows?
The one away from the windows.
Okay.
But I think they would prefer that you wait until the end when they ask for public comment, and then you can bring your card up. That's what they've done in other meetings.
Oh, because when I'm at the Minot City Hall, I bring up the card first thing.
Here it's been last. They ask at the end of the
Well,
meeting.
yes,
and then
they
people
have
go up.
comments at the end of the meeting, but I bring up my card first thing.
Okay. But here they've asked for it at the end.
So you have to wait for them to ask for it,
When there's public comment at the end of the meeting.
meaning there's not public comment every time.
At the end of every meeting there is. So
Well,
in
there
this
wasn't the
meeting-
other one I attended. Other ones I've attended.
The ones that I've been attending recently always ask for public comment at the end. So that's when I would bring up my card, is when they ask for public comment.
Oh, if there's no rule against me attempting to do so now, I'd like to.
I don't know if that will work for you.
Well, what's going to happen if I attempt to?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, because they have it on the
Mm-hmm.
agenda where they would like you to do it, and it's at the end where they have public comment. I work for Ward County.
Yes, I was wondering about that, but you mentioned a department in Ward County. Is Ward County itself a department, or are there...
It's an agency. Yeah, so I work for Extension. We do public education.
Okay, so you're working for the school board, or you're working for the extension office?
I work for Extension office.
Okay, the agriculture one.
Yeah, and you've been in our office before.
Yeah, but remember, I'm face blind.
Yeah. But I
That's
mean,
part of the
I
reason why the
remember you.
camera is an important adaptive device. And speaking of which, I wanted to have a talk with you about what our soil and climate will support once we're done.
Okay. We get the door for you.
Okay, thank you.
So the data we get is we basically get the establishment that they're at and all the data that's on the ID basically. So we'll get their age, their name.
And that is compared to what? You're feeding it to another entity, is that at the state level?
So we give it to the state as part of our fake ID reporting that they don't identify the fakes. The scanner itself identifies the fake, it will say fake ID, and then in the report we will get how many fake ID were scanned and how many normal ID were scanned.
But state has a database then that
Yeah.
cross-checks everything?
They have a database to keep track of how many fake IDs have been confiscated or identified. Who are using this?
And they are in charge, or you in charge of how long you keep that information?
So we keep so the data is stored on the scanner, and we have a private pass, like a PIN number to go and access it at the establishment, and then we keep it for a certain amount of time. I don't know the exact amount of time, I don't know if we've got that established.
Just to clarify, I'm wondering, the data that you're talking about, it's not the data of who's at the establishment, the date they're there, the time they're there, it's whether the ID was correct, real or fake, correct?
So it does tell us, we know the establishment because we know we have to physically go to the scanner, but it does tell you the time they're there, and it does tell you if it's real or fake. But we do keep, it does tell us all the information. So it does tell us the name, date of birth, address, etc.
So, how is that secured? I mean, you guys have access to it, it's a state database, how is that information secured? That's private information. Like, you could search that database and find out who's at what establishment, at what time, how many drinks they had, or any of that kind of stuff. That is not okay.
So it's secured on the device. Again, there's a PIN number that only we know for the device to be able to get on and see the data. And then we go and we will send it to a secure email address that only we have access to at First District. And then we look through the data. I don't send the whole data to the state. I report how many fakes. So I have access to it.
What do you do with it then? I mean, do you delete it, or when you're done, or?
Again, we don't have an exact, right now, we've only just started collecting it all on this email, and I think we have maybe about 3 or 4 months. We haven't got an exact, like if, I can delete it month by month once I report it to the state. But again, I don't go through it and look and see who's at what establishment. I just literally look at how many fakes there are.
I understand that,
Yeah.
you might not do that, but somebody could.
If they had access to the email address that I use, correct.
So another question, how are these scanners getting put into these establishments? Are they volunteering to do this, or are they getting forced to do it?
So they volunteer to do it. We sign an agreement with them. If they've previously failed a compliance check, we would go to them and recommend, hey, this is a tool that you guys can use to help identify fakes so you're not letting them into the establishment. Or they come to us and they say, we heard that you've got scanners and it would be very helpful. And then we lend it to them.
I think from a feedback standpoint, it's one thing to have a scanner that would identify fakes and underage. The real issue is retaining the data of everybody that goes to one of these establishments probably isn't real keen on having their data captured and then given over to the state to say where they are.
Yeah.
So we don't tell the state, we only report the number of fakes to the state. I have the data.
Is your data subject to open records?
I would say not that part, because that's all, the information that they've captured, which is name and age and all that, is not public record, that's exempt.
Who owns them then?
They would own them.
So they can do anything they want with them?
No.
I'm not accusing them.
We have our own privacy rules, so we do have privacy rules at
Right.
First District. I'm not going to be using them for any promotional activity or anything like that. It's myself and one other colleague that has access to them. Again, the only thing we use them for is to look at the number of fakes at the different establishments and put that into a form that we send to the state. We don't say the name of the fakes or anything like that. We say the establishment and the number of fakes.
But from a feedback standpoint to you, here's my personal feedback is if it's not fake and it's not underage, why do you have to have the data of an adult that was there legally stored?
Naturally, the scanner does that. That's how the scanner system works. The
So
scanners
that's the
that are used
concern.
at the state
That's
fair
the
will,
concern.
the scanners that are used at the state fair will do the exact same thing. They will also log
That's the concern.
That's just how the scanner system works.
And that was part of the discussion we had with them when they told us they were gonna use this equipment and where it's stored and who's in charge of it, and what all's kept, you know? I understand the goal that you guys are shooting for, but there's a whole lot of things potentially may happen with this process.
Yes, I'm not in favor of us having anything to do with a program like this.
Again, I
There's
didn't
better
come-
safeguards for the data, or the data just doesn't get kept. It either says it's real or it's fake, and that's the end of it. It doesn't scan the other information. So I don't even know if that's possible or not, but
Yeah, we don't have
this
any,
is a big problem.
we don't have any, that's how the scans come from.
It's not a problem until something bad happens, which there's stories all across the world and across our country of this kind of stuff happening. Where all of a sudden the data gets accessed for the wrong reason, and it could be here, it could be anywhere.
So we can definitely look at setting a policy or procedure in place that says, as soon as we've gone and collected that data and I've reported those fakes, it gets cleared from our system. We can do that. It will still be in the system in the scanner, like the company that runs the scanners, but we wouldn't have any local access to it.
Well, this is good discussion.
I didn't expect to come and answer questions about the scanner, so I'm massively
Not
regret
a
on
good
that.
program, don't like it.
Do you have any more, did you have any more questions, Jason?
No, just to rouse my, I share the same concerns. I will say that as a county, we don't necessarily have anything to do with these scammers at this point. Because we haven't mandated,
I don't wanna be part of us encouraging this to go
Except
on.
we
in our
issued
county
the
either.
license.
but we haven't mandated any scanner use. This is
The
something
scanners-
that's being done by the choice of the establishment owners and the first district.
So we currently have 14 scanners that are deployed throughout, and I believe they're all in the city of Minot.
Are those funded through the health unit or the grant programs, or,
We fund them through the Partnership for Success grant.
so maybe there's an avenue for us. We're working on our budget coming up here.
The Partnership for Success grant is a federal funded grant that we get from SAMHSA.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more discussion on that?
I guess I would like to hear from the sheriff, if he's got any input on wristbands specifically, and also, my question is, just I don't probably have data on the extent of underage drinking problem, but particularly concerts where it's a large group of people in front of the bandstand area that are misaged, where some are adults that are kind of eating and drinking, and every age is allowed within that area as far as the extent of the problem of underage drinking.
Well, as far as the wristbands, I guess it wouldn't be as much on the vendor as an enforcement tool, because if people are allowed, whether you're allowed one beverage or two beverages, you can still hand that out to somebody. So, yeah, if wristbands were required for anybody who's over 21, it would be easier to identify if that was happening, if people were handing them somebody who didn't have a wristband, or somebody who's drinking without a wristband. It's more of a deterrent. Again, like before, it's also easy enough to defeat as well. Sometimes they get smashed in pretty good in the middle of that crowd, and sometimes that's hard to identify as well as far as even getting in there. I think it probably wouldn't curb the sale, I guess, of underage individuals, but maybe help with the enforcement, that's more of a deterrent. For the wristband, so. Over the years, I mean, we have seen an increase. I mean, it seems, well, the numbers go up, the numbers of arrests, because with the change in the law where it's no longer an arrestable offense, it's an infraction, so we're not transporting people, not filling them in jail on a nightly basis like we did before. But citations with the underage drinking is still taking place, and some of it is because they're getting through with fake IDs and things like that, and some of it is because, like what was mentioned, at the end of the concert, there's an unbelievable amount of, sometimes fifths of alcohol that was down through, and maybe drinking a lot ahead of time. Sometimes they line up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and they don't drink, you know, and there's dehydration, things like that too. But yeah, both ambulance calls and disorderly conduct and, underage drinking, I mean, those numbers remain the same, and they, over the last few years, they have, you know, been going up, and so is attendance at the fair, and so is our presence. We have a larger presence out there than we've had before.
Are you noticing, this is probably not, but any more, is it identifiable even if there's higher amounts of drug use?
Johnson?
Yeah. And what do we're talking about how to police alcohol, but.
Yeah, it depends on the concert, there's some concerts that have a heavier presence of marijuana in the air.
Well, you can see it sitting in the stands.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's hard to determine, and that's sometimes hard to catch as well, but it's hard to, I mean, you can smell it obviously everywhere, but, the individual themselves, because of the way back people are packed in there, and then there's the medical marijuana cards, and some people are, you know, we have a lot of questions about that, you know, and a lot of smoke medical marijuana from over here, but those people actually, people that, where other people aren't, as far as other drugs, I mean, that's just our life right now. I mean, there are people out there obviously on different types of narcotics, but they're visibly, it's not, those could be some of our ambulance calls, but visibly it's not hard to
So,
pick it up.
and this is a question maybe you know too, that just come to my mind is, we're talking mostly the fair here for discussion purposes right now.
Right now, we're just, right now, it's talking about.
But wristbands or whatever at large public weddings or dances, is this something we should, I'm not saying I'm a fan of them, because I've heard all how tough it is to make sure they're real, just like a real ID. And, so if we started requiring that at the fair, is that something we should look at countywide? And you have deputies that can be hired for private events, correct? Or they can hire their own people?
According to our ordinance, they have to hire a deputy, if they're gonna be
Okay, so they have to be a
a deputy
licensed
or
deputy.
licensed security by the sheriff.
Yeah. So is it an issue there, the wristbands?
It depends, and we just discussed earlier, I mean, there's you talked about a retirement party, when you get pretty soon a retirement party, chances are that probably wouldn't be necessary,
To do that?
to do that as a retirement party. I think we're probably talking large scale events.
Only like the fair is what we're talking about?
Probably, I mean, large concerts or events similar to the fair. I mean, I don't see like a wedding dance, we have to be there for wedding dances as well. I don't know, we're gonna go with wristbands, have people at wedding dances.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, I think a lot of it is case by case on the nature of the event as to what type of security there needs to be, but, you know, if you have a hip hop artist that's gonna draw a very younger crowd than some old plastic country artists or whatever might, I mean, they're just different likelihoods of having underage consumption problem. And if you're expecting somebody rents out a room and puts on a concert with a hip hop DJ, draws 1,000 people, or 2,000 people, it's gonna be a different event to police. And that's the type of crowd where it's dark and it's, you know, very difficult to do meaningful enforcement at that point. And wristbands aren't a cure-all of every issue, but they can be a tool. I guess my specific question to the sheriff is, you have to sign off on the event permits before they come to us. I'll put you on the spot, but are you going to request that wristbands be mandated at somebody's event? Because then it will come to us and we have to sign off on that permit or not. If you're okay with it, I would defer to your judgment on those. But if it's gonna be an issue at the fair, particularly, or at large events in general, the vendors need to have some prep time.
Right. far as this particular event, I guess it's kind of when we're just discussing this particular event, a year long, I think it would be very difficult to decide whether or not a wristband, you have to have a wristband in order to put on the event, I guess. Because it would have to be case by case, and of course, I'm only one of the votes, state attorney has a vote, and then ultimately it's the board who has the final decision on those special events. But, I mean, I see it I could see it helpful in an event like a large concert or a large event, and of course, there's nothing larger than the fair, which is why I keep being brought up here. A lot of these events are small events, they're weddings or retirement parties, or hockey parties or something like that. So basically, it comes around to the large event being the largest in the state, really. But no, I don't know that I would mandate it, I guess, because it's not, like I say, it's not really gonna affect, because they're still gonna have to do what they do at the point of sale. Whether it's scanners, which don't seem to be real popular, or ID checks, which are very susceptible to human error. And I know you like human error more than
well, my comments on the scanner that didn't record the data, or if it was secure and it was just checking if it was real or fake, I don't have a problem with that.
And I think
What happens to the data afterwards is a big problem. Right now, and maybe there's a different machine out there, or a different system that could be used, but.
we kind of anticipated this coming up as far as these scanners go. These scanners, and correct me if I'm wrong, you just don't want me wrong. The information is stored internally, correct?
They're stored locally on machines, correct?
Yeah. It's stored locally on machines, so they do have the ability to wipe it out at the end of the night, or at the end of the fair. So it's stored about 70,000 per machine.
Per unit, in our plan, is to hold information for 9 days just for the fair, and we're not saving them anywhere, we're just deleting them from the scanner. I don't want the information, I don't need it. What we care about is the ID fake or the real, and are you 21 or not? That's the only thing we care about.
Is machine sharing that data, like, to the company as well, or is it just stored locally? Because
They're stored
usually
locally,
there's a
so you
reason
send
why
it.
they collect the data.
Right, I mean, if you download them onto the server, then I would assume the company could get them, but these are stored locally, any chance old machine, and then you have to just delete, they're gone.
Yeah, I think we asked about how they're connected throughout the facility of the fair. They're Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
So whether you can mess with that or not, I don't know. But the other thing is, I thought when we had our conversation, you guys were going to allow them to be rented out to special events as well.
That would be fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
The units are actually owned by the fair, it's gonna be leased,
Totally like,
and part of it.
for third parties, so you own them. Who owns them?
The state fair.
I mean, not you personally, yeah, right. I mean, the fair owns them, sort of, yeah.
Well,
The fair makes that, yeah, we're kind of getting.
and he's the liquor license holder of the fair.
Yeah. You're just using them for the fair, for your, yeah, the fair is the one the question should be
The
asked.
fair would lease them to them, and what we talked about as a part of the lease is that they would get them empty, and then they would return them clear. So there'd be nothing on them to get them, when they return them, they'd be.
It was the fair that said they would let other venues probably use them, because they own them, that's their choice, not yours. Yeah, and we got into that discussion or something.
Mr. Chair, I want to follow back up with something the sheriff talked about, the alcohol being brought in. I go to a lot of concerts, and most of the larger venues have a pretty comprehensive bag check or a clear bag policy for concerts. Is there been any consideration to doing a clear bag policy at, I think a bag check is gonna be labor intensive, and, you know, not everybody enjoys having their bags gone through, but clear bag policy for concerts might eliminate some of the shooters being brought in. I don't know if that's something we wanna talk about, or I don't know if it's something you'd give a thought to as well. It's pretty common for concerts.
For concerts and for.
But that's not just underneath people's foot.
No, true, but I mean,
And it's not just alcohol, it's weapons.
yeah, could be
For athletic
anything.
events.
seems to me all that most of the discussion happens around the concerts. Would that be a fair assessment, that we have a lot less problems just in general on the fairgrounds than we do during the concerts or after them? Or is it a problem every, just on the grounds in the evening or?
When the sun goes down, but.
As soon as the sun goes down.
Yeah. But no, on the grounds, no, I mean, there are certain areas that we have issues with, that's where we have some of the underage, they have their areas where they like to go fight, things like that. I'm not saying it's like every night all the time, but if you're talking about where most of our issues are, it is during the concert. Whether we have, fights or people passing out, medical bills, things like that. The majority of them are happening during the concert because you got thousands of people crammed together. And it's like I said, they'll line up at noon, 1 o'clock, depending on who the artist is, and they won't drink until, they won't eat and drink until the gates open and they get in, and then now they're dehydrated, and now they're mashed up against each other and hot. So,
Yes, the reason I'm asking, I'd rather not punish the rest of the fairgoers because of some, a concentrated area where you have problems. It's better to focus on that problem area than everybody else.
it's basically, it's the concerts and the beer gardens. That's just, again, it's a late night thing. After a lot of beer is going, that's typical of any bar, I guess.
Mr. Chair, I only have one question. Is there any, more than one deputy when there's a private function going on, depending on the numbers? Is there ever a requirement that they have more than one, or is that already established?
It depends on the number, and it depends on what we offer, but the advantage is, and they have to be approved by the sheriff as far as
But
the security.
you're aware of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's a small, like retirement party, a wedding dance, normally it's one, if it's a larger event, we'll have more than.
I'm good with that, as long as you know.
I guess the other thing that we had talked about though, would be, the media is up, obviously, but you're not allowed inside of liquor establishment without an ID. And if a policy would be established that, you don't have an ID, you don't drink, and as long as that's publicized ahead of time and people know that, I mean, it's perfectly allowable to say you have to have an ID or you don't get a beer. And as long as people know that ahead of time, I mean, you should have an ID with you.
So another, and I don't know if we talked about it in our meeting, is there an issue with, something was brought up versus the alcohol-free areas, is there a need for that? Or is that becoming a problem aside from the grandstands?
I think that was just a suggestion that they had, they're coming up with their brainstorming ideas. And that's the suggestion they had, maybe.
Not something that's a problem as far as.
I think that was, when that brainstorming ideas, I think that's just one thing that came out. I mean, it had to be identified against, obviously, those areas for like 10 and under playground, maybe you don't need beer in there, but I mean, that's a common sense thing. I guess I don't know where those areas would be, but unless we had an idea what those would, because it'd be a little, enforcement might be a little tricky.
That was kind of a suggestion that came up when there was a discussion previously about how there were certain areas that you were allowed to drink previously at the fair, and then certain areas that weren't, and then that kind of changed. And that was discussed at a previous meeting, but we weren't 100% sure when that was changed. So that kind of stemmed off that, and then also off of the fact that some of those like cultural and community norms, that if there's young children playing in a certain area, like around the rides and things like that, they don't always need to be seeing alcohol everywhere. They could be certain areas maybe that alcohol maybe not be consumed, just so that it's for part of those the youth's perspective and those norms. So it kind of stemmed from like.
The fair, I'm sorry, but I don't see that. I just thought that comment got mine here. And one thing I want to stress is I think everybody is wants our fair to be successful. And this ain't a claim that it is. I think we want this. I think for the most part, they're doing a good job. I mean, we can always learn, but.
Absolutely. These are just, we had a brainstorming session with our coalition. These are suggestions that came up from their perspective of, and our perspective of how we can make things safer. They're not anything that we think is like mandatory, it's just ways that we can all work together to make it safer. Just suggestions and recommendations.
Thank you.
And it may sound bad, it's not as bad as it's, I guess.
Right.
We make it sound sometimes, we're busy out there, but it's a safe environment. It's definitely a safe environment out there, and we want to increase our presence to make sure that happens, so.
That's what I. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jason, anything else?
Nope, I appreciate the discussion.
That's been good. It's okay, we'll move on to item 7, Anthony Owens.
If you mind me asking, is there any good reason you can't just stick to the regular system of regular IDs? I mean, there's been false positives on all kinds of the computer ID stuff, you know, as far as saying that somebody was connected to something they'd never even been in that state. I mean, it's...
There's no perfect system.
No, there isn't.
And it's human error, it's, I mean, you know, it's very hard with the different IDs and
Well, not to mention it's run by humans.
Well, 100%.
Somebody who's 30 can look like they're sweet 16. Somebody who's sweet 16 can look like they're 28.
Yep, exactly. That's, yep, 100%.
And in Wisconsin, I know it's legal for parents to give children alcohol. It was also legal for minors with the parents' permission to marry, and if their spouse was okay and he was of age, he could give them alcohol. I mean, I don't know what to say because, like I said, there's no perfect system, and I think that it wouldn't look good to give it to them in public area. But
Absolutely can't.
I'm glad to see it's being enforced up here now.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you.
And I think the way that time we can actually get answers from the U.S. Marshals quicker by using this interface and doing this. The $4,000 share script medication history interface allows us to keep a history of any inmate that has medication. This is on a secure iCloud. It's not something anybody on the outside can get into. Basically what that does is, like Williams County uses CorrectTech as well. So if we have an inmate that has charges through us and then has charges through Williams County, once they're done with our charges, they're transferred to Williams County. All I've got to do is give Williams County a 4-digit code to CorrectTech. They put in that 4-digit code and they can pull up the medication history for this inmate so that they can make sure that inmate is getting the medication while they're in their facility. The SureScript e-prescribing for local pharmacies allows our nurses to send in any prescriptions straight to our pharmacy GP. Right now, we're having to take those prescriptions, scan them in, and email them or fax them to the GP. We make it more secure through this SureScript, so that our pharmacy gets the prescription right away. Our monthly bill after configuration would be $2,675, which includes $925 for 24/7 support, technical support, and upgrade fees. $500 for CorrectTech Advantage Plan. If you look at Addendum F, which is on page 30 of the contract, that gives us unlimited configuration and unlimited training. $250 for U.S. Marshal interface fee. That is monthly. and then $1,000 for CDI Tier 2 Advanced. That gives us basic and interactive dashboards that we can look at for our inmates. Basically, what Sheriff is electronic history for our inmates, health reports. It allows our nurses, our nurse practitioners, when they come in, to be able to record everything that they are seeing with an inmate right there in our facility. They don't have to go back to their office, put it in the notes, then they email the notes back to our medical officer, and then she can see it. That's, I mean, sometimes we take 3 days to get notes from our nurse practitioner and mental health. With this, it's automatic. We automatically have the notes right there. We can make sure that our inmates are getting the care that they need immediately, instead of having to wait 3 days in order to see them. SureScript is, or not SureScript, I'm sorry, Correct Tech software is secure. It's something that a lot of counties are going to now. It's a way to make sure that we're being compliant with HIPAA and basically being compliant all around. It helps us hold accountability for our inmates when it comes to when it comes to medical care, and it streamlines everything for us. And what I'm asking is for the chairman to sign off on the contract. Roads that have reviewed contract, that's the reason I postponed on the last meeting. We had some errors in the contract, the roads that was not agreeable. Those errors have been corrected. So our contract was reviewed by the roads and
Captain, let's talk about the funding for this. Is
this funding
included in the budget, or is it?
it is in our budget. It comes out of our commissary because Correct Tech is by the state, but it is in the government because it is better in the healthcare. So we take it right out of our commissary, which is in the government fund. I'm not sure exactly how much we have in that fund. Paul was telling us somewhere around $540,000 right now in that fund. So we would have no problem paying for this out of our commissary.
Is there do you know, if, I see you said we outright purchase.
Yes, sir.
And then, our monthly bill is $26.75. What's the monthly bill for?
That is,
there gonna be upgrades, like, amnesty and all our other software?
that's one of the things that, the $925 will pay for tech support and upgrade fees. If there is any upgrade coming for Correct Tech, we're paying for that. It automatically uploads into our Correct Tech.
No other amnesties that we could expect for?
No, sir. Once we buy this software, we own it.
Captain Oldman, I have a couple quick questions on those monthly fees. The 1,000 CBI Tier 2 Advance, what is that as a monthly?
That is for our dashboard, what we can actually see on the inmates. They have a basic and then they have an interactive. The interactive gives us more detail on the inmates' health policies and any prescriptions they may have. It makes it a lot easier for us to go on. The basic just gives us like a Word document, pretty much. The interactive actually shows us the notes from the nurse, the prescriptions, any medical health care that we need to know.
And then a follow-up question, there's a $4,000 initial fee for the U.S. Marshal Interface, and then $250 monthly maintenance fee for the U.S. Marshal Interface. Any way to recapture those funds if we're dealing with someone incarcerated that is part of the U.S. Marshals? Do we bill them back for that to recoup those costs?
Unfortunately not. This is basically something that we're asking for due to the fact that it streamlines our communications with the U.S. Marshals. It basically makes it a lot easier for us to communicate and get those medical requests approved a lot quicker.
So you said when you send something to them, it's about a 5-day turnaround now. When you send it, and then you said this will be quicker. Is there
sure exactly how much it's streamlined, but basically, right now, the process that we go through, we have to wait for the nurse to go back to her office, write up the notes, send them back to us, and we have to take those notes, scan them in, and send them into the U.S. Marshal. And it may take 2 days for the nurse to get the notes back to us. That's 2 days if we have a U.S. Marshal and it's not getting the medical care that they need. Then we have to send it to them, and it could take up to 5 days for them to approve it. With this, it's automatic. I don't have to go to the start that count, so we can streamline it from right now up to 7 days to up to 3 days. Because they're getting all the records right there. Because when we send it to them, of course, they're gonna request records. And we have to send those records to them. That's why it took 5 days. With this, interface, they automatically get everything back.
The U.S. Marshal is the only inmates that are affected by that?
No, sir, this is all of our
We
inmates.
use county-wide,
Yes, sir.
but the U.S. Marshal is requesting additional.
Yes. Whenever we have to, anytime we have a U.S. Marshal inmate that needs medical care, we have to get approval before we can take them to the hospital, unless it's an emergency. All right, if we have to take them over by ambulance or something like that, that's something we have, a certain amount of days, I think it's 24 hours, to send in the request to us.
Is that where you're going with your question? Ron?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was thinking too is, and you maybe don't know this off the top of your head, what percentage of our inmates currently are needing medical care or prescription drug care?
I don't know that percentage, but I would roughly guess we have probably 70% of our inmates on medication. And probably, I'd say probably 30% that are, medical care that are actually going in for appointments.
Mr. Chair, I would like to move that we approve the 41,700 as requested, as well as the 2675 monthly fee.
Wait a second.
Second.
Mr. Chair, I just think that, this is quite a bit of money, but on the other hand, it would take one case where we could be in big trouble potentially, and, I think it would be, as presented. There's a lot of good information there and much quicker than what we've been doing in the past, and I can see the value and the funds are available, so.
Just to be clear, and the money would come out of that fund you're speaking about, Marissa?
Yes, the commissary, that's not in general fund, that's a separate.
Yeah, right. Is it 900 some thousand?
Or 500 and some other things.
Oh,
533,077 dollars.
okay.
And that's restricted to inmate betterment.
Yes, sir. We have to use it for inmate betterment.
Right.
I just want to make a comment. I just want to tell you, good job on putting this together. It's clear that you're passionate about what you do, and I appreciate all the information that you provided, so good job.
Any further discussion?
Commissioner Rossa?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Chairman Koval?
Yes. Thank you. Next item. Green booking tax credit.
Oh, hi. Which position are you in, sir?
Sorry, I got.
Letter, this is just kind of more for your information, because I haven't submitted an application to actually try to vacate anything, so just so you're aware.
Mr. Chair, move to receive and file as presented.
Second. Second. So, on that letter, they have to, we basically would have to vacate or write a section.
Right, and that's an
Do
application
they
from
understand
our,
that? The guy can't remove it.
I'm thinking so, because I haven't gotten an application on it.
Okay.
Typically, I get the application from the landowners on the either side, and then it goes to the township, so I'm not sure
Why it came
why,
this way?
yeah, but I haven't seen anything on it, so.
Right. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Chairman Fogle?
Yes. We thank you for the reports from the audit shop. There's a lot of information there. Let's move on to item C.
B.
B, excuse me.
Just looking for approval for the attorney to sign for the firm foreclosure properties.
Mr. Chair, I move approval on the items.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Chairman Fogle?
Yes. Now, item C.
Item C is an election joint powers agreement for city school. There were some legislative changes where any sales tax funds have to be on any bond elections have to be on a general election. So this is just an agreement for us to do this for the school bond election for 2000, and this is for this year, not ongoing.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval on the item as presented.
Second.
We have a quick question now. For location, will there be a location insert here?
There is a location insert. Typically, the school does their election separately at City Hall, and we do the regular primary election, but this time didn't go on the ballot.
Will they be staffing it or will we be staffing?
We'll be staffing already with our regular school workers, so they won't have to hire additional staff for this one.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Chairman Fogle?
Yes. Item D.
Item D is a raffle permit request from Action Agility Dog Training Club, and it has been reviewed by the sheriff of state.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion further? Call the roll.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Chairman Fogle?
Yes. Item E.
Item E, there are 5 different gaming site authorizations. I don't know if you want to look at them individually or all at once. They have been reviewed by the state attorney's office and sheriff.
Commissioners, you wanna make a motion on all of them, or you
Move
want?
to approve all of them, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Any discussion on any of the items? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Chairman Fogle?
Yes. Item F.
Item F is a email we received from a resident in Sawyer requesting permission to remove a chain link fence. I did include some pictures of it in there. Sounds like they have been kind of keeping that lot, the neighbors on either side there, so, I don't see any problems with letting them remove it if the board doesn't see any problems with it, just keep some of the weeds and stuff down around the fence.
Commissioner, is there a reason why we installed this one?
There's specials on it, so I think the tax are around 16,000. I don't know if maybe that's something we could work with the city of Sawyer with, because it is a nice lot and there's neighbors on both sides, so maybe we could work something with those specials, but that's the only thing I can think of is why it's hasn't sold.
Any thoughts on whether that, I know the neighbor would like it down because he's maintaining it, but if somebody else purchased it, would they want the fence, you know? I don't know. Is what the rule?
In the maintenance, it's
Yeah.
always broken down, I think.
Yeah. That's
We
true.
basically own this lot.
Huh?
We own this lot right now.
We do,
They're gonna screw deal with all there. For that.
The fence is not in that great a condition, we would have no use for the fence. And if they're willing to take it down, that would save us time and labor to take it down, and if we ever have to mow it, and have the fence gone, would make it easier to maintain the I would have no issues with them
Is that
basically removing the fence.
wood poles, all of them, or are they steel?
It looks like they're a steel fence, I thought I saw, by the way, I just took these off of Google Street View, and I think if you look in one corner when I was zooming in, I actually saw a Dakota fence. So I'm assuming they're a steel galvanized, but once again, you can't reuse those posts, so you can probably use the chain when the fence is pushed, you know, we have no use with it.
Well, that's why it's not in the that's how we got them, they're steel.
Yeah, sometimes they're driven in, sometimes they're not, I don't know how.
Yeah, that would be the only comment I would have is, you know, we give permission for them to remove it, but unless you take a bobcat and pull it all in posts, it's not the easiest thing to remove, but they're gonna do a good job removing it, or they're gonna make, you know what I mean? It could leave more of a problem than.
Yeah, you can always say if they take it out of post.
Posts have to be completely removed.
Yes, the post needs to be removed from the ground.
It'd be short work with bobcats.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them cut the posts off at the concrete or something, or it would be a problem.
I think you can include that note, that if you're gonna remove it, we just want the post pulled off.
Yeah.
And I can have them let us know if they have issues getting that done.
You know, and sometimes for those corners might be concrete, and the rest might just be dirt on the ground. So if you can remove them all except for.
I'm trying to go.
I remember some in an old place with a handyman jack in it. Jack called a handyman jack.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve, do you need that?
Well, so you can answer with that question?
Yeah, and include that the posts including anchors must be removed.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll?
Commissioner Rosted?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Chairman Fogel?
Yes. I assume they're gonna continue to keep mowing it for us. Thank you for doing that.
Great. Big Dana, thankful for that too.
Yep. Okay. Item G.
Item G, I was approached by Christy Frederick in the Human Service Zone. They are getting some new vans, so they have one of the older vans that the county purchased, I can't remember what year it is, 2018. So they are looking to transfer that over to the coroner's office if we'd like. I just kinda wanted permission if everyone's okay with that. Currently, HSD is paying the liability insurance, or the insurance on the vehicle, so we would have to take that over, then any maintenance. And I don't know necessarily that the coroner's office is prepared to use it right now, but it would probably be a good option to look at starting that.
So, just a question on that. The coroner's office has their own book, right?
Correct, within general fund.
With, yeah. So we're good with license, insurance and all that in that budget.
Well, insurance I have in the overall general budget, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, it ain't separated by departments like this?
Not in general, no. I mean, all the
Okay.
insurance is paid out of general, we build the library, highway, and we departments. so
Okay.
This van shouldn't, it would be okay.
So is there a motion?
So moved.
Transfer the title? And cost? Okay, and second. Any further discussion?
I would like to say something on that. They have 8 units right now. They're giving up this one, and she told
Can
me.
you go up here and say that so we can
Sorry.
get it on the record?
So she did visit with me because I asked her how many spots she needed. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
So they have 8 vehicles right now. 2 of them the county bought. This is one of them. And the suggestion was corners, but there is another one. And it,
But they want to get rid of it now?
well,
Potentially.
because they're getting two more.
Okay.
So they're getting rid of these older ones that they have. It's a red one and a white one, and they're reading them. So my guess is, I would like to get them out of our parking perimeter, so we have room for employees and guests to park. So if the coroner's not gonna use them, then do I have permission to take them out for like 900? Or And
So,
probably put like
question.
battery maintainers on it, so that,
Yeah, or should they go for the coroner's house?
The coroner is housed in the auditor's office.
Okay.
The cooler is at the 900.
alright, I guess I want permission to move. No. Yeah. Space, but I hate to get it back because by the time I do, then I'm gonna be working outside.
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we, that Mr. Banks get involved in this and, you would set a corner example, both of them? Two
Well,
of them, or just
she's
one?
saying one for now,
Just
but they're
one for now.
getting 2 new vehicles.
And, go ahead and,
If you look out there, they've got 5 designated spots in this back lot on this side of the building. And then the other 3 get parked across the street, or wherever they park.
anyway, I trusted your judgment in the past.
Yeah, and I'll just so you know, I will put them somewhere where they're out of the way.
Not forgotten,
What's that?
out of the way, but not forgotten.
Well,
Or,
if
or
they were
if you-
pickup, I'd turn it into a sanding
yeah,
truck.
or if you look into it, or if we need to get rid of it,
Yeah.
yeah, auction off or get rid of it.
But
If
at
it's
some
not for
point-
use.
At some point, I mean, the coroner isn't gonna be taking this unless they're gonna be using it.
Well,
So
that's what I was kinda getting
It's
at,
gonna
but I
have to
think
be in a
it's a little
location
premature.
for them to be able to use it, otherwise why are they taking it?
Would
Yeah.
the 900 be placed though, if that's where they're transporting?
Well, I thought maybe, if the coroner needs that, where do they usually transfer people to?
Well, right now, the ambulance
Right, but they
transfers,
take them
but
up
we
to
wanna
the
obviously get into that process. So they usually would either go to the ME's office or funeral home, or potentially the hospital morgue or the county
Well, I
cooler.
figure out who the driver
Yeah, I
would
think-
be then.
That's, I think, the
I
plan when he
haven't
does the
talked to
death
him.
investigators.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they would outfit this for the death investigator to have some equipment in that place so that they can come get the van, respond to a scene, and they have everything they need with them.
I mean, we could possibly find room for that indoors, and if we had to give them a garage door opener so you can get in there.
Mr. Chair, isn't this something we're replacing?
No.
No, this was bought years ago.
So we're not,
The county owns
so
them.
we need it now and then?
Well, all the new vehicles are owned by the state.
Yeah,
So these were 2 you bought for me.
but, okay, but do we have use for it? Sometime, or?
Well, maybe sometime, the plan is.
I mean, if the assessor needs a new vehicle, you know,
Hold for now.
Holly has a question.
Okay, this is totally off the cuff, I'm just processing, but on occasion, extension, I have no idea what these vans look like, how many occupants, the year, condition, anything, but I know over the years, extension has oftentimes thought, it would be really nice to have a vehicle, because we do transport like groups of 4-Hers, to different contests and whatever, so I'm just putting that on the table as a possibility, especially since they're talking about storing it in the 900 area, we're right there. So anyway, just to kind of add that to the conversation as a possibility, depending on the condition and other costs that might be involved.
Well, that might be the
Mr.
second
Chair,
round.
I'll add that to my motion to have Mr. Banks,
Something to talk about.
Holly and Tim investigate.
I'll leave the keys in their office, they can use it.
Hey,
You might wanna talk to Christie Fredericks and see if that other van
Is available.
is available.
And it's equipment.
Thank you.
But this current motion is for the medical exam.
We have, so the motion that we currently have is to allow to transfer the title from human service zones to the coroner.
I think technically the title's already just in Ward County, because when it was
Oh, yeah.
purchased, it was Ward County.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
And that was made by Commissioner Schuler.
It's still good, I mean, they'll give direction here, unless somebody wants to change it. And the next one can be potentially spoken for. Any other, is that all right with everybody? Leave it as is and give that direction. Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Schuler?
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rossstead?
Yes.
Chairman Caldwell?
Yes. Okay. Now it's time for, budget input.
Yes. So I did have a memo in the packet, looking for just direction on initial salary and health insurance amounts I'm creating the prelim budget based off of. And then if there's any other direction you want to give to the departments or me to compile that. I did speak with HR and other department heads, and we were proposing the salary at a 2.5% step and then a 3% cost of living. And then health insurance at 15% increase. I'm hoping that's a little high, but since it's early on, if we don't have concrete numbers yet, I think that's a pretty safe number to start with.
That's gonna be tough to do. So, you want a motion for direction or any discussion on this first? Then somebody wanna make, you want a motion for direction or just discussion?
I mean, I don't think I absolutely need a motion, as long as you're okay with that. If you want to change something, maybe a motion, I guess.
I don't see how we
It's
can
gonna
do
be a
that.
big number, we don't know until you.
Get it all together.
You put something together,
Yeah.
so we need to look at something, that'd be fine starting.
Anybody else have any comments?
Need to start somewhere.
The health insurance, right? Along the lines of, everybody get card, one card meal? What's that all about? And I looked at my old card, they look identical, and I'm wondering what's going on here, and then I happen to have my card from 2 years ago in my billfold debt.
So I think
And
most,
wow,
most health
I'm gonna keep
insurance,
that one for reference here.
they usually send it apart every year, it's standard. It's a new contract every year.
Okay, it's an odd time of year, but whatever. Cause the anniversary is the first year of your.
I don't know if we can an anniversary date when it's
Okay.
funded like that. I mean,
Oh, I just was
maybe
wondering.
that's why, I don't know. Cause yeah, typically we would get them in like January, otherwise it seems like, but.
Okay, maybe it's gone. So, is that what we're good with? I don't see how that's doable. We'll see. I guess, nobody's saying no, so
Alright.
there's time for that later, I guess. Okay, now it's time for public comment. Anybody wish to comment?
I do have 2 cards. And then it's 5 minutes. It says for individual, I don't know if that's considered separate.
Okay, Melissa, are you wanting to speak? Try and keep it as brief as possible here.
Did they bring the copy of the law that I handed?
What's that?
Did she bring the copy of the law that I handed out? I want, hold on, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, can anyone give me an intelligent answer as to what a silent law is or how they happen?
This is.
Well, this is the part about public comment, and I want to know that everybody understands what I'm talking about before I start talking, because you're trying to tell me to keep it brief.
Is it part of what we discussed at this meeting today?
Well, sir, I don't know what to say. You've got law enforcement asking for this, asking for that, and some of the things that occurred to me while I'm listening is, number one, those ID systems, those electronic ID systems, have a lot of false positives and negatives. A number of people who are obviously innocent have been arrested for a whole bunch of BS stuff. And I'm noticing stuff about how you're trying to pay thousands of dollars to find out if a person has a prescription while they're in jail instead of simply listening to the person about a medical provider. It's just one piece of stuff after another, but some of the stuff I want to talk on is the fact that I noticed both the state century code and the city code both acknowledge the supremacy of the supremacy of the federal government. The state acknowledges the supremacy of the federal government. The city acknowledges the supremacy of the state and the federal government. Does the county also acknowledge the supremacy of the federal government, the state and federal government?
I don't know that we're acting unaccordingly.
You've got rules posted that are directly contrary to well-established federal law, namely the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Glik v. Cunniffe is a good example of our right to record public officials in the course of their duty. I had the police...
Did we do something today in violation of them laws you're citing?
Well, you've been doing something that's in violation of those laws. It's your rules that are posted up there that forbid photography or recording in public areas. Glik v. Cunniffe is very clear that I have the right to record public officials in the course of their duties. And Stitch went through here with his camera to establish that right, and he actually has the sheriff on record saying that he knew he couldn't enforce that law. But last week I had social services... the rules have been posted in that building.
Today, then.
No, it was last week when somebody called the police on me for recording in the social services when I had a feeling that they were going to discriminate against me and they might behave inappropriately, and they behave very inappropriately.
Social services is currently a state agency.
Yes, sir, it is. And it's under federal and state law, and they pointed to your rules and tried to say that those were posted, and they're unenforceable. They're a silent law, and the sheriff's admitted that on record. And I don't like harassment when I'm trying to access public services, because even though I'm bold as brass, many people get so scared they never try again. And these are life-sustaining things, like food stamps that a person needs, even though they're not enough really to go through a month anymore. They help a great deal, especially in combination with soup kitchens and food pantries. There's stuff like Medicaid expansion, which helps with people getting life-saving medications like antibiotics. I've had my arm swelled to twice its size because I needed antibiotics, and I can tell you right now the gravity and importance of such things.
Excuse me, ma'am. We're not in charge of that.
Yes, you are. You pass your own rules. What I'm asking is that you go ahead and take down those...
We're in charge of your medical care.
Good. I didn't ask you to be, and I'm discussing the
fact...
fact...
that we are not allowing something for your medical care.
No, I didn't. Sir, you might want to rewind that stuff then, because I stated very clearly that my right to access public areas and to make a record of public officials, and how your posted rules are creating an interference of that, and they're not lawful. Glik v. Cunniffe says I have a legal right to record public officials in the course of their duties.
It wasn't this board that did that. You had that problem, correct?
Well, those rules are still posted. What I'm asking nicely is that the board remove the posted rules, or at least remove the section of the posted rules that violates both state and federal law about our rights to record public officials in the course of their duties. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, we'll look at that.
The other deal is I wanted to go ahead and drill it home a little more about state law, section of the official oppression. Well, this is a copy of the state statutes, the Official Oppression Act. You might want to familiarize yourself with it too, because it's more than just federal law about accessing those services. And I want to make it clear that not only do I have a right to access those things, but I have a right to record, especially if I suspect that public officials might behave inappropriately or they might be in violation of a law. Everything that's visible, the I cannot trespass, it's a 1,000-year-old case law. It goes back to the Magna Carta. And the cinema file goes back 120 years, so this is really well-established law. Can I still speak about the proposed library merger, or is my time totally gone?
Well, that's not on the agenda today, but it will be at some point in time.
Yeah, it was on the agenda at previous times, and I got told that I wasn't allowed to speak then, that I had to fill out a comment card. So I came back, I filled out a comment card.
I'd hang on to that. That day is coming.
So I can only speak when it's on agenda. I can't speak when it's been on the agenda, and I wasn't allowed to speak at the time, or I missed my opportunity.
Unless you want to personally get on the agenda. Not at public comment time.
Well, how does a person get on the agenda?
Well, you would have to talk to the auditor and that, or the chairman, or any commissioner.
Like the ones that are in front of me right now?
Exactly.
So I can't talk to you right now about the library merger. Okay.
Get on the agenda.
Would it be okay if I gave you the references to the laws, the well-established laws that I'm talking about? Because I'm going to tell you right now, false arrest, unlawful detainment, those are criminal. They're felonies. You can sue for them. There's quite a few going on. There's quite a few people who won a lot of money. That isn't quite what I want to do. I just as soon assure that people are not scared to access the services that the few services and the help we get, because most of us are being taxed at about 50% of our income.
Give that information, we'll have the auditor and we'll have a look at it, where it goes, if it's under our jurisdiction or such, okay?
Mr. Chair, I have a quick question.
Yep.
Commissioner Merritt is the chair of the library merger board. Do we have a scheduled time for that? Because maybe Ms. Ferris should come to that meeting as well.
Yeah, I think it's on the 20th this month. And you'd be welcome to come to the meeting when we have our merger meeting. That it's going to be at City Hall.
Is it at 9 a.m. or is it at their evening times?
It's in the afternoon.
Okay, I'd prefer to show up during the time it's going, not just on the date.
Yeah, it's at 1 o'clock on the May 20th.
Can you write that down, sir?
Sure. Right after.
Or would you please? Okay, thank you.
May 20th at 1 o'clock in the city council chambers.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. And I apologize for being so intense, but like I said, there's a whole bunch of other people that are afraid to take help, and so many of them are in such a vulnerable situation that they can't.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you. Is there any other business, commissioners?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, everybody.
I wrote it.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, a friend of mine's sick and he needs a ride, but I don't want to take off until I, can talk to you about getting a copy of the recorded meetings and how to look them up on Vimeo.
I don't have recorded copies of the meetings. They're all available online.
Yes, and we already talked. I can when I'm not recording you, but I did want to record how to do it on the public library computers so that citizens know how to access this stuff.
I'm not sure what to tell you on that. I have other responsibilities today, so I'm sorry I can't help you right at this time. I'm actually the IT director for all of Ward County.
May I schedule an appointment with you then to do this?
I don't schedule public appointments either because we deal with confidential information and I have other responsibilities.
These meetings are confidential information?
That is not what I said. I said I deal with all of the information, and some of which is confidential for Wood County.
Yes, sir. And I'm interested in the public information, which you said was accessible publicly. But as you know, a lot of the public has difficulty with government websites. So I'm asking very nicely if you can show me how to access the public information via the government website that you were talking about. Right now it's noon, so you're open for another 4.5 hours, right?
No, I'm not. I have this afternoon off.
Okay. Will you be working tomorrow?
I'll be working tomorrow, but I am not a PIO for Wood County, so that needs to
What's
go
a PIO?
Public Information Officer.
Well, who is?
Wood County doesn't have one.
Okay, so you're trying to say that you can't show me how to access it?
No, I'm trying to say that it's very easy to access. You
Well, I'm
type
glad
in
it is.
wardnd.com, and it's on the first page of the website. It's on the home page of the website. It's very easy to access.
I've
I'm not
checked
mincing
before.
mincing words with you, it's that easy to access. It's been the same website that we've had for probably 12 to 15 years now. It's the home page of the Ward County website, and it has the current video on that website.
What about the past videos if I want to look up what's taken place in previous meetings?
All of those are on Vimeo.
Which brings us back to how to access those on Vimeo, because are they on the Ward County website?
All of the agendas and the discussions are on the Ward County website, and that would be maintained by Marissa Hammond, the Ward County auditor.
Okay, so could I ask her to go down in the library and let me make a record of how to do that?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I can't speak to the mayor, but I'm pretty sure that's what I thought was for our next meeting. Okay. I hope I'm part of that discussion. You put up a screen here now.
Putting it in the
Somehow we can work something out. I know.
Vimeo is a public website as well, so
Yes, I understand it is. It's got a great deal of videos. I've accessed a whole bunch of Christian videos. If they've got over 1 million videos on there and an algorithm designed to bring entertainment, it could be very difficult to find the Ward County public stuff.
actually it's not. You look up Ward County.
Okay, because I've done stuff like this before.
Under Ward County. That's
Sometimes
how
it does. If your browser's trained to go to Ward County, great, because when you're on a public browser, sometimes you get word salad.
Well,
You get stuff that's not
everything is
related.
recorded under Ward County Commissioners. Everything that we've done for the past 5 years is under Ward County Commissioners.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, put it in.
Would I be able to reach you in the auditor's office if I can't get a hold of the previous videos of the meetings? And would there be a way that you could copy this and redistribute it? Some of what I didn't get a chance to bring up is a friend of mine is a poll worker, and he got the 3rd degree about me, and he kept getting urged to make complaints about me. That's what I'm trying to track down. He took off, but he looked scared, like he was afraid to talk about it. But if it definitely sounds like some stuff's going on that's not legal, to say the least. And I don't like being scared or intimidated, not for accessing public services or resources that my taxpayer dollars have paid for, and not for accessing elections. I've got videos before where the Minot police interfered with me accessing the elections and making a record. We are allowed to record at the polls. It's already been established, and I've already had friends that have been very upset about me not being able to catch irregularities there. I want to talk to other people about possibly coming in there in teams to not interfere, not scare or intimidate people, but to simply stand back to where stuff's visible and audible without overhearing private information, and see if there's any irregularities or not. But that's something that I'd have to get other people involved in. But just for me, it was a big deal to be able to record what the provisional ballot looked like, the whole 9 yards, just stuff like that. I mean, it's a big deal to me about this stuff, about being able to get my sample ballot for the districts, about being able to contact people to understand if I'm in the right district, to see what's going on, to view the maps, stuff like that, to be able to get information from your recorder's office, half a dozen other places. And I can remember being threatened in the auditor's office for trying to record in there, being told that the county commission had posted rules against that and stuff like that, and I'm not cool with that. You don't threaten people for accessing civil rights. You don't threaten them with disorderly conduct. You do not arrest people for accessing civil rights, and you sure as heck don't try to, under color of law, encourage social workers to try to file an order of protection for somebody recording in a public area.
I'm only responsible for the auditor's office, but I think we've given you sample ballots and everything that you
Yes, you have, but the office has also given me threats before about recording in public. Stitch had to come through here to establish my right to do it, and
I think I talked that day with him and you.
okay, then you remember, and you know that it's not legal for that part of the rules about recording. They need to be taken down.
That's not my rules. I didn't pass those rules.
Yes, from what I understand, that's the county commission that put up the rules, and so it's the county commission I am addressing about the rules. Okay, because if this is something that we sort of need an interpreter for, okay, because it seems to me it's pretty clear. I am talking to the county commission about the rules they put up and the fact that not only are they not lawful according to well-established federal law, the current Constitution could not be put into force of law without the Bill of Rights, and the First Amendment, amendment or the first one in the Bill of Rights is our right of freedom as far as this stuff goes.
So you want me to give copies of this to the board, and I can do that. Is there
Yes.
something else you're wanting me to do?
Yeah, it was being told that the previous record of these meetings is available on Venmo, and I've had problems before about Vmail, yeah, Vmail, whatever it's called. I want to make sure I can access those board meetings and the content therein. To go ahead and play it back, that sort of thing. And I've had this before where I've tried to go on for videos that have had 0 views or 1 to 2 views, and a search engine that has music videos that I've accessed before with over 1 million views. As you know, the algorithm, if it doesn't think that I want to see it, can go ahead and send me word salad.
Sure. Ours are all on our website. So if you're having problems with a certain meeting or something, you want to email me and I can try to send you just the link for that
A certain meeting or wanting to see the meetings in order as far back as they've been recorded.
I don't have a way of putting them in order necessarily.
No, but they're supposed to be posted online.
They are.
Okay, so if I can only access 1 or 2 meetings and they're not recent or relevant, that creates an issue.
Once you click on them, and I believe it's under even maybe where the agendas and minutes are, like you can click and go back and see all the meetings are all on the Vimeo site.
Okay, because that's what I'm trying to do is make sure I can access it.
Yep.
Nobody wants to go down with me and demonstrate it on the computers, and that's what I was asking.
And I should say that should just be that'd be the commission meetings and the human services meetings.
Leave it at what he did and go back.
Okay, by the way, is it okay to save on paper if I email you copies of the federal law, the American Disabilities Act, the case law for Glik v. Cunniffe, Turner v. Driver is an appeals law, not SCOTUS, but Katz v. U.S. is SCOTUS. The common law that some of that stuff's based on goes back to the Magna Carta about 1,000 years back. The I cannot trespass. Cinema or moving picture recordings is over 100